Looking for the perfect 6-day Albania itinerary? Don't worry, I've got you. Okay, we're starting in Tirana, because if you're flying in, that's where you're gonna fly into. Tirana is a pretty big, bustling city, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend hanging out here for too long, but it's definitely worth a bit of time before you move on. Let's start with a free walking tour. This will help you get your bearings in Tirana, and it'll help you learn a bit more about the history of Albania in general. We went with Tirana Free Tour, which has 5 tour times every single day. And remember to tip your tour guides. Okay, now we're on our own, and I recommend climbing up the Pyramid of Tirana. It's a cool architectural structure, but also you're just up here for these views. And then pop into Edhem Bey Mosque. Free to enter, beautiful interior. Make sure you're checking all of the religion boxes and head over to Resurrection of Christ Orthodox Cathedral. Again, free to enter. Actually unfinished inside, but still super ornate. Honestly, these Orthodox churches are just so over the top. It's amazing. Okay, now I strongly recommend heading to 1 or 2 museums to learn more about the history of Albania. Did you know that they were like an ultra-communist surveillance state? I didn't until I came here. We went to House of Leaves, which is a great museum about the history of the surveillance. And then there's also the Bunk Art Museum. Okay, bye Tirana. It's time to head to Beirut. Beirut is beautiful, guys. You cannot skip Beirut. We spent 2 days here, and I think you could spend 2 days in Beirut just walking around and taking pictures. It's a perfectly picturesque little city. Head up into the back alleyways, climb the hill. But if there's one thing you cannot skip in Beirut, it is dinner at Homemade Food Lily. Find it online and send a WhatsApp to reserve a table. It is super popular and always booked out, but oh my god, it's such an experience beginning to end. It's so worth it. All right, day 2, go wandering. Head for Church of Saint Spiridon. Then walk up to the castle. It's a steep walk, but it's super doable. You get views the entire way. And yeah, part of the reason to go up there is for the views. All the way across the city, into the mountains, over the river. And there's a few little churches on the castle grounds. Okay, we're not leaving Beirut yet, but we're going on a little day trip into Awesome Canyon or Gorge. This is a destination that's super popular for whitewater rafting. That's not really our jam though, so we just headed on an easy walk to a waterfall. This is Bogov Waterfall, and it's a short walk from the main road along dirt tracks. It's super secluded and you can go swimming, but it's too cold for me. Here are some more views. Okay, day 2. Some more climbing up to St. Michael's Church. Views along the way, and just another cute little old church. Beirut does have this mosque, but it was closed when we visited. And of course another church. St. Demetrius Cathedral, right in the middle of town, because you gotta check them all off. Okay, by Beirut, on to Vlor. First stop, St. Mary's Monastery, which is actually out on an island. Old monastery, cool building, nice vibes, worth seeing. But the reason why we were in Vlor was horseback riding. There's nothing I love more than taking non-horsey friends on horseback rides around the world. But honestly, this is such a cool way to get to explore kind of more untouched parts of these countries. And our guide for this ride was really friendly, really helpful, really sweet. And honestly, I learned more from him about the country than I did from many of our other tour guides. So we did a 1-hour ride for €25. And then we were back on the road, headed into the mountains. This is when the country really gets beautiful. That being said, we don't include the north in this itinerary. Anyways, we're headed down into Himara. Here it is, a lovely beachside city. But before the beach, I want you to head up into Himara Old Town. It's completely separate from where life is these days. And while you can walk up the hill, I recommend just driving. I loved it up here. I think this may have been my highlight of the trip. People do live up here, but the roads are more just pathways. Uneven, overgrown cobblestones. One thing you can't miss up here is Butterfly Cafe, or a coffee, or a cold drink, or a snack, and of course, these amazing views. Like imagine if you just worked here. Oh my god. And here's my delicious cake. Just by the cafe is the castle, which is really cool. Super run down, there's not a lot left, just a bunch of different walls. But you can imagine just how extensive these castle grounds once were. Okay, now it's time to go out on the water. We went on a group boat tour with Himara Seas the Day. That's SEAS. It was about 2.5 hours and it was €30 per person. We started by cruising around and seeing a few different highlights along the coast. That includes these crazy communist submarine bunkers. Like, this is some James Bond-esque shit if I've ever seen it. This thing's huge. It fit a submarine. And then into this cave, which apparently is called the sex cave because tourists go and have sex on that beach. Look at these colors. Then we got dropped off for about an hour to sit on this beach, sunbathe, swim, before heading back. Himara is beautiful, y'all. You should go. Okay, it's our last day. We're back on the road, headed for the airport. But not before a few stops first. This is the castle of Porto Palermo. Apparently gifted by some royal person to some really young girl, as you do. Again, folks, we're here for the views. Like I'm telling you, there is no filter on this. These are just the colors of Albania. It's stunning. Look at it. The Albanian Riviera. All right, a few more stops along the road. This is the Bridge of Britage, and it was unexpectedly really beautiful. It's a bit of a trek to get down to from the main road, but it's worth it. Then this much less sturdy bridge, which is simply listed as footbridge. Cool, definitely sketchy. We did do a quick stop in a city called Fier, because it was there. Mosque, church, walk around the city, check, check, check. And then it's time to go. Bye, Albania.